Hey everyone, Jason here, digital marketing consultant. And if you're trying to maximize your income selling your online course, this is the sales funnel guide for you. Timestamps below, along with some other helpful videos to building out other parts of your funnel. Here we're going to be going through this diagram and talking about why this is the best funnel structure to use selling your online course, especially if you're brand new to funnel building or this is the first time selling a course of yours. So again, timestamps below to always go back to sections. So here's what we're going to do. We're actually going to kick things off in the middle of this funnel. We're going to start talking about the core specific training, results-oriented training that you're going to use as a lead magnet and as a sales message for your course. Then we'll go through what you need to do on your landing page that's different than other types of product offerings. We'll go through the rapport building sequence to drive people back to your results-oriented training / your sales pitch. And then of course, talk about how to maximize your income and average transaction value on during your checkout sequence with with upsells and order bumps. And then finally, at the end, we'll talk about the best type of traffic to use to drive new potential customers and leads to this entire funnel process. Again, timestamps below to skip around. We're going to start with the hardest and most important part, and that, of course, is going to be the results-oriented training. Now, there are lots of different ways that you can structure this. You've probably heard of video sales letters, webinars, and auto webinars, and launch sequences, and those are all well and good, but there's one problem. They take a really, really long time to put together, and they require a pretty high level of copywriting experience in order for them to actually work and be successful and not just come off as a pitch fest. And even after that, you've probably been on a webinar where you felt like it was completely useless and a complete waste of your 90 minutes. So we don't want to do that to your potential customers. I don't like doing that to my potential customers. So here's what we're going to do instead. We're going to create a 15 to 20 minute, almost purely valuable, because we are going to have a sales pitch at the end, but almost purely valuable video that shares a secret or golden nugget straight out of your course content. Now, I know this might sound sacrilegious, like, what do you mean? People aren't going to buy my course if I give the best thing away. And the answer is actually no, they will still buy your course. And the reason that you want to do things this way is this video operates like a preview. If someone likes this video, then they know they're going to like your course. And so you want to put your best foot forward, and no matter how much value or how many secrets or self-experience or experiences that you try and pack in to the 15-minute part of the video that's value, you're not going to be able to give away every single thing inside of your course, unless your course is only 30 minutes, in which case that's a whole nother problem, right? So don't worry about accidentally giving something away that is super important or super valuable. People who want more help, who want to purchase your course, will purchase your course, even if you give away some of your best information. And I can tell you this from personal experience because this is exactly what we do with our course funnels. So here's specifically what you want to do with this 15 to 20 minute video. Now, the first 90 seconds of your video is going to be a hook. And all a hook is a couple lines where you explain what the video is going to be about and the results you plan on helping them achieve as a result of watching the video. If you want an example of this, just take a look at the first couple of seconds of this video.
Hey everyone, Jason here, digital marketing consultant. And if you're trying to maximize your income selling your online course, this is the sales funnel guide for you. Timestamps below, along with some other helpful videos to building out other parts of your funnel. Here we're going to be going through this diagram and talking about why this is the best funnel structure to use selling your online course, especially if you're brand new to funnel building or this is the first time selling a course of yours.
And as you can see with that example, it took less than 30 seconds to go through that. So it definitely does not need to be super long. And you can even add a couple bullet points about what they're about to learn or going to be able to do as a result of the training. And then after that 90 seconds max, you have 3 minutes max to have some sort of humble introduction. Now, if you've ever been on a webinar, you know that these sections can drag on and on and on. I used to be homeless and I had no penny, I had nothing in my pocket. My mom had cancer and then I discovered this crazy thing and now I'm a multi-millionaire. Like nobody believes those stories, right? So all you need to do with the humble introduction is just introduce who you were and who you are and where you were and some of the results that you have achieved now. So it's important that nothing in the story is made up. If you don't have some crazy rags to riches story, that's okay. We still make sales and no one on our team has some crazy rag to riches story. You just talk about a problem that you had and how you set out to solve it and how you think that what they're about to learn is going to be valuable. 3 minutes absolute max. I would actually recommend keeping this under 60 seconds because really nobody cares, but I'll give you 3 minutes. And then what you're going to want to do is go straight into the training. 10 to 15 minutes of nonstop, zero pitch, golden nuggets. You give the best advice, the best secrets, the best of your own personal experience. So the more it's based on your experience and something that you figured out on your own through trial and error, the more valuable the section's going to be. You don't want anything that's super basic. Now, if you do have to explain some basics so that they understand what you're talking about, that's okay. But what you don't want to have happen here is someone goes through this and goes, yeah, I could have just learned that on YouTube, whatever, right? That's not a good place for your customers to be in order for you to actually start selling your product or service. And then only after at least 15 minutes of training, 10 to 15 minutes of training, you can go into 5 to 10 minutes of a pitch. Now, this is really, really hard because this is a place where it's very easy to screw up and turn people off. So here's all you need to do for your sales pitch. At the end of your hook, so we're going to go back to the beginning because your sales pitch actually starts in the first 90 seconds of your video. So at the end of your hook, whatever you've said, and then you also say, and at the end, I'll talk about an advanced training where you can accelerate this process or where you can make this easier or have certain parts done for you. So something to that effect. So all you need to do is mention that you're going to talk about advanced training at the end of this training. And that's it. That's all you have to do to seed the fact that you are going to sell something. You don't have to trick people into watching, and you just say there's going to be we're going to talk about some advanced training at the end. You also want to make sure that your tone doesn't change when you say this. It's really easy to get all salesy. You say, and at the end, we're going to have this cool advanced training thing. Just keep your tone even keel. And then when you get to the end of your golden nugget section and you want to transition. There we go. And you want to transition into the advanced training where you're going to talk about your course. So all you have to do is use this exact text. Now, I sincerely hope you found this training valuable. And if you're interested in taking things to the next level, I've developed a system for fill in whatever the result is over the past X number of years, 3 or 4 years. And if you think it's right for you, I want you to get it. And if it's not right for you, I don't. So we'll do this without hype or fanfare. The advanced training is called, and then you just go into whatever the advanced training is called, and you just have a couple of bullet point slides where you talk about each individual module and have 3 main takeaways that they're going to be able to do or things they're going to learn. And that's all you need to do with your advanced training, your specific advanced training. And this is going to take you probably 2 or 3 weeks to put together, but it's going to be a lot faster to put together than, say, trying to come up with a full hour-long VSL or 2-hour webinar, whether you're going to do it live or automated. And so this is really what differentiates a sales funnel for an online course versus other types of funnels, where you really want to give people a preview of your teaching style, your training style, and of course, people get a feel for the value that you can actually deliver. This is also going to help with your refund rates, which are astronomically high when it comes to online courses. So that's a little added bonus to doing things this way as well. And if you want to learn more about sales copywriting, you don't need some crazy high-level course. You can just head over to Amazon and for 13 or 15 bucks, pick up the Ultimate Sales Letter by Dan Kennedy. In fact, that closing is almost word for word what comes out of the book. Obviously, I've modified it quite a bit so that it wouldn't be exactly, I don't want a copyright infringement here, but he actually gives you several different formulas you can use to close, and you can go ahead and write that 5 to 10 minute sales pitch in a couple of days without a lot of copywriting experience. And because you've led with so much value, you're not going to have to do any cheesy or underhanded NLP sales tactics to actually sell your online course like a lot of larger companies have to do in order to make those 2.5-hour webinars work. But more on that later when we get to the traffic section. And so with that super specific training out of the way and complete, everything else in building your funnel is downhill because you're going to be able to essentially repeat everything that you put into that training. And the next step, step number 3 here, I'm losing count already. Step number 3 is going to be creating your landing page. So the good news here is you don't have to do anything super fancy with your landing page. And because you're selling an online course, there is a very specific type of headline formula that you're going to want to use in order to maximize your landing page conversions. Now, there are 4 key elements you're going to want on your landing page to seed the value and sell leads on your specific training. So the landing page will talk about the specific training you're making, not about your online course. So we'll get to your online course later. So here's what you're going to need on your landing page. You're going to need a headline and subheadline, some bullet points, social proof if you have it. If you don't, that's okay. I'll show you what to do instead. And then, of course, a clear call to action, which is to get access to the specific training. Now, the headline is going to be the most important part of your landing page. So use this formula. We'll go through 2, but I recommend this one first, and that is the allowed me or allowed us to. So here's a couple of examples. We have the weird video campaign that allowed us to double our subscriber growth in 30 days, or the simple editing hack that allowed me to cut my editing time in half. And so here's an example landing page that we have, the content funnel that allowed me to generate 4,447 leads in 90 days without spending a dime on ads. And so what you're doing here is you're talking about some sort of unique mechanism, and that is the content funnel, or in our previous examples, it was the weird video campaign or the simple editing hack. And then you use the phrase allowed me to. And so you're giving a name to whatever you're going to be talking about on your special training. And then you're saying allowed me to a result that your ideal customer would want to achieve. And so then right off the bat, you are positioning you as the expert who can help them achieve those results. And they're much more likely to be ready to purchase a course from you because at the beginning, you are using yourself as the guinea pig or the proof that whatever you're talking about is actually working. Now, obviously, you have to have results in order for this kind of headline to work. And if you don't, or it just doesn't fit your particular product offer, then you can use the how-to formula. And so the how-to formula is you just talk about what the specific training is going to teach them, and then something that they're not going to have to do, something they thought they'd have to do in order to achieve that result. So here are some examples of that. How to grow your channel without getting lots of views, or how to grow your channel even if you think your video quality stinks. And so what you're doing is you're removing some roadblocks in that second part of the sentence saying, hey, you can achieve this result even though this might be your reality right now. And so you want to use one of those 2 headlines on your landing page. I'll link up in the cards and the description to a video that takes a much deeper dive into how to put together your bullet points and, of course, formatting your landing page and how to use a free tool called MailerLite to actually create your landing pages. So now, once you have your landing page and you have your special training, you're ready to create your email sequence because after all, you've collected their email address on the landing page and you sent them directly to the special training or super specific training. Now, most people aren't going to watch the whole video right then and there, right? Even though it's only 20 or 25 minutes. And so the email sequence is going to be 5 to 7 emails that sends people back to that landing page. It does not send or back to, oh my gosh. It does not the landing page. It sends people back to your training page. And so the training video is the only time where you're doing the sales pitch. And so underneath the training video, you can have a button that just says enroll now or learn more. We'll get to that in a little bit here. And so all you want to do with this particular email sequence is seed the value of the training and get people to watch it, because you need people to consume the golden nuggets you have in that training in order to be ready to see the value of your course. If you just drive people to a course checkout page in your email sequence, you have no idea if they've seen your video or not. So you want to make sure that they've seen the video, they've received the value, and you've built some more rapport and authority before you start talking about your course that they hopefully will purchase. And so here's what you can do with this sequence. So the first email should just talk about the super specific training and link directly to it. And there shouldn't be anything else there. Then the next email should talk about a roadblock. So remember when we talked about those how-to landing page formulas? Take one of those roadblocks and write an entire email about how they don't actually have to deal with that, or how the training is going to help them overcome that and actually achieve the success that they're looking for. Then the next email is going to be a hero results story. And so this can be one of your previous students from your online course or one of your personal coaching students, just as long as it's clear where that success came from. Or it could be a story of your own success. And again, you want to talk about how some of what they're going to learn on that training is actually going to help them ultimately work towards the results that they're trying to achieve. And then the last two emails, you just want to be a little more salesy on the specific training. So again, the call to action is always to go check out the specific training, not purchase the course. Unless you're using automated and advanced software, which I don't recommend, you're not going to know how far they made it in that training. So these 5 to 7 emails should just drive them back to that specific, super specific training. And you can allow people to skip around the second time, so you don't have to worry about people feeling like they have to watch the whole thing over again. And so this is an example of what this specific training will look like. And so as the emails drive traffic to this page, you'll see all you need is a name for the training and then the training itself. And if you have 2 different training pages, you can go ahead and let people skip around the video and just have a button that says enroll now or learn more or advanced training, something to that effect below the video. It doesn't have to be specially timed, just leave it there the whole time. And if someone's ready to buy, they will click that button. And so when they do, they'll be taken to your checkout sequence. I'll talk about funnel software in a moment here. And so on the checkout page, all you need to do is collect the minimum amount of information that you need in order to complete the purchase. I've seen some checkout pages for online courses that ask for full mailing addresses, and everyone knows that we don't need the mailing address, and it just might be for marketing. So go ahead and make sure that you minimize what you ask for on that page, and don't ask for information that you don't necessarily need in order to collect the payment and deliver the information. I'll leave it up to you whether you want what information that might be. Now, something you do want to do on your landing page or via your checkout sequence is to create order bumps and upsells. Now, here's the difference. An order bump is going to be on the checkout page itself. It's going to be a little box that someone can check, and they'll get some sort of bonus module or training or some extra templates or a discount on another product. An upsell is not shown until after someone has clicked confirm now or order now. And so this is what an upsell page might look like. There'll be a bar at the top letting someone know that their checkout sequence is not complete, and it will be a short video or just a couple bullet points talking about an upsell offer. And then they'll have the option of taking that upsell or saying, no, thank you. I just want the basic course. I don't want anything else. What's really important with your upsells is that they always look like a bonus. So if someone would watch your upsell video or look at an upsell or order bump that you have and say, hey, shouldn't that have been included in the course? Then it's probably not a good upsell, and it should just be included in the course. So here's some ideas for what you can do for upsells and order bumps. You can offer access to a newsletter or mastermind. And so this is great if you're looking to create some sort of monthly reoccurring membership, or you can offer discounts on some other courses that you have. So even if the other courses you have don't really seem to be a good fit with this one, there's really no penalty to adding it as an upsell, and you might get a couple of people who want that course as well. And of course, I'll leave it up to you. I'm saying course a lot. Leave it up to you for what the discount on your other courses might be. Now, here's a quick breakdown on why this is so valuable. Let's say we have a $97 course and 10 people purchase it. Well, if we have 10 customers, then our average transaction value is going to be $97. I'm leaving out processing fees here. But if we were to add an upsell or two, let's say a newsletter and a mastermind, and 1 out of 3 people took us up on the newsletter, and 1 out of 10 people took us up on the mastermind. Well, that's only 2 additional transactions out of 10 people. But when you look at the average transaction value, all of a sudden we've gone from 97 to 15, and we have one person who's probably going to give us $37 for 2 or 3 more months, getting tongue twisted here, before they ultimately cancel. Because as we know, just because someone signs up monthly doesn't mean they're going to stay for all of eternity, right? So upsells are a really easy way to maximize your income when it comes to your course funnel. And you don't have to do that much more work in terms of marketing because you've done all of that work. You've already collected that credit card information. And so giving another offer, offering something else that's going to be valuable to your new course students is almost a no-brainer when it comes to increasing your income. Now, when it comes to doing this, not all shopping cart softwares are actually going to allow you to have upsells. And so when it comes to the type of software you can use, here are some examples. I recommend using MailerLite for your landing pages and emails. I'll leave an affiliate link in the description if you do decide to upgrade your account. Of course, we receive a small commission as a way to support this channel. Another great one you can try is GetResponse, although they don't have any direct integrations with membership websites, which is the only reason that I'm not recommending it here, but they do allow for upsells. When it comes to your shopping cart software, I highly recommend ThriveCart. I've bashed them in the past for some of their page building capabilities, but luckily they proved me wrong and we still use them, and they allow you to have order bumps and upsells and downsells and all of the split testing that you'd ever want in a shopping cart software. And I recommend ThriveCart above SamCart. If you haven't heard of SamCart, then that's okay. Testing the two, we've like to stick to ThriveCart. And then for your online course, just in case you haven't figured out what software to use there, I recommend Teachable and Thinkific for those. Kajabi is another one that you can check out, although it's pretty expensive and I'm not really a fan of all-in-one platforms. But if you compare Kajabi to something like Kartra, ClickFunnels, or GrooveFunnels, then I'd say Kajabi is still the winner there. So again, I'll link up in the description to some videos that go through some sales funnel software reviews. Now that you've built your funnel, let's talk about where on earth you're going to get all of the traffic that goes through your funnel, right? So there are a lot of different ways that you can drive traffic to this funnel. Obviously, there are paid solutions, there's content, and there's networking. And so when it comes to the different types of traffic sources and traffic strategies you can pursue, I recommend content. And here is why. When it comes to online courses, whatever niche or industry that you're in, there are pretty good profit margins when it comes to an online course. That's why people like making them, and that's probably why you ultimately chose to add that to one of the products that you offer as a business. However, everyone has those higher margins, which means advertising is very, very expensive. If you've ever wondered why you continuously see traffic that goes to a webinar that's 92 minutes to 2 hours, and then the offer always seems to be $297 or $1997, well, it's because that's how much it costs the company to actually drive all that traffic and finally get a sale. And so unless you have one of those really, really high ticket, high costing courses, you're probably not going to be able to break even on your traffic. And so that's why I recommend going the content marketing route. And it also allows you to build up affinity with your potential customers. So they're going to be going through your content, you're going to be building rapport, and you're going to be warming people up before they see that super specific training. And of course, it also builds you up as an authority. And so people are going to begin to come back to your content over and over again and begin to see you as an authority and resource, build affinity with you. And then when they ultimately decide to click that link to join your specific training, you've already warmed up everyone who's seeing that specific training, and that's going to dramatically increase your return on investment for what you paid to put together the whole funnel, but it's also going to increase your funnel conversion rates, and you're not going to have to resort to being super salesy or super pitchy in your specific training because your traffic strategy has already warmed people up and they're ready to actually purchase one of your paid courses. So thank you so much for watching. Sincerely hope you got some value out of this video. And most importantly, you have a much better understanding on how to put together a funnel specifically to sell your online course. I know this was an overview, even though this was a long one, if you can believe that. I will link up in the cards in the description to a video that goes through exactly how to build out your landing page, your email sequences, and everything else that you need inside of ThriveCart and MailerLite. And of course, you can check out the affiliate links in the description if you want to learn more about either one of those particular software solutions. So hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dive funnel videos just like this one, and some videos that are a whole lot shorter. And until the next, keep building the business you love.